Story title: The Lights Over Hollow Creek. I grew up in a nowhere town called Hollow Creek. Population 312. No malls, no movie theaters, just endless fields, dusty roads, and a big empty sky. I used to love that sky until the lights came. It started with a hum, low, bone deep, the kind of vibration that shakes the inside of your teeth. I was 17, out behind the Miller barn with a six-pack and my best friend Jess. We heard it before we saw anything. Jess thought it was an earthquake. I thought it was a bad feeling. We were both wrong. The sky cracked open. 3 lights, perfect circles, blazing white. They floated soundlessly above the fields. No wings, no sound but the hum. I remember the way the grass bent beneath them, even though they were hovering at least 30 feet up. And the air smelled wrong, like hot metal and burned hair. Jess whispered, "What the hell is that?" I couldn't answer. I couldn't move. Then one of the lights peeled off. It dipped lower, started scanning the field with a cone of pale light, sweeping back and forth, looking for something or someone. We ran. We didn't even talk about it, just bolted back across the field toward town. But the light followed, silent, smooth, like a hand reaching across the sky. We reached the road, panting, hearts slamming against our ribs, and found Hollow Creek. Wrong. The buildings were still there, the gas station, the church, the library, but they were empty, frozen, not abandoned, paused. Cars sat mid-intersection. A woman stood in the street, halfway through tying her shoe, motionless, not breathing, not blinking, like mannequins. Jess shook her, screamed. Nothing. No one moved, except us. The humming grew louder. The lights descended, slow, patient, as if they had all the time in the world. We hid in the church, boarded the doors with pews, locked ourselves in the confessional booths. The lights passed overhead. I could see them through the stained glass. Shapes inside the glow, tall, thin, wrong. They didn't have faces, just impressions where faces should be. Jess kept whispering, "They're not human, they're not human." I shushed her. I think she was right. Hours passed, maybe days. We didn't leave the booths, didn't eat, barely breathed. When the humming finally stopped, the silence was worse. We crept out. The lights were gone. The town was normal again. Cars moved. People blinked. No one remembered anything. It was like nothing happened, except to us. Jess and I made a pact. Never speak of it, forget it, bury it. 2 weeks later, Jess disappeared. No note, no struggle, just gone. Vanished between breakfast and lunch. Her parents didn't remember her. The town didn't remember her. It was like she had never existed. Only I remembered. Only me. Some nights when the sky is clear, I hear the hum again, low, hungry. Sometimes I see a light flickering at the edge of the woods, waiting, and in my dreams, Jess is there, standing in the empty field under the cracked sky, her mouth open trying to scream, but no sound comes out, only light. I haven't left Hollow Creek. I don't think I can. I think I'm like a nail hammered into this place, part of the ground, tied to it, waiting for the lights to come back, waiting for them to finish what they started. And next time, I don't think I'll be fast enough to run. I know that now, because last night, they came back. It started the same way, the hum, low, invasive, like something drilling into the roots of my teeth, vibrating down my spine. At first, I thought it was just my mind playing tricks again, old trauma, old ghosts. But when I looked outside, the lights were already there, Not hovering this time, not patient. They were descending, fast, like falling stars that had remembered they were something else entirely. The entire town froze again. Cars stalled mid-turn. Dogs hung mid-bark. Leaves stopped trembling in the breeze. Only me, breathing, blinking, screaming. I grabbed my jacket, shoved my boots on without tying them, ran into the night. The lights followed, they always do. This time, though, they were closer. I could feel the heat of them against my back, like standing too close to a bonfire that wanted to consume me. I didn't head for the church this time, or the Miller barn, or the woods. I headed for Hollow Creek itself, the real creek, the water, the only place where maybe, just maybe, their lights couldn't reach. The grass was slick with mist. The trees leaned in, watching, and the lights moved wrong. They didn't glide, they twitched, jumping angles, blinking forward in bursts, not obeying physics anymore. Maybe they never had. I reached the creek, gasping, heart ready to tear itself out of my chest. The water shimmered under the strange light. It looked black, endless. I didn't stop to think. I dove in. The cold was a shock, a knife. It sucked the breath from my lungs, burned my skin.